It's just not been my luck today. I actually tried to go live on my other channel. My laptop was sounding very loud. The fan is, I think the laptop is breaking down. The one that I normally go live from. So I guess I have to do in another format when I'm doing stuff. So if you guys are riding with me, please be patient with me. I tried to schedule a live over on the dark waters of Osunyemi, and the thing started buffering and it's making loud noises. And before it blows up in here, I thought, let me take it off. But anyways, there was something I was gonna look at. The other thing that I'm gonna look at, I'm gonna put that in another format. Um, Now what was I gonna say? Yeah. Anyways, I was looking recently. Something came onto my timeline. Was it yesterday, day before yesterday? I can't remember. Over here, there was another version of the Jimmy Savile, similar kind of um charge thing that was going on. There was a guy called Carson Grimes, and he was in some part of London. I can't remember the part of London. Anyway, um, in the time when it was set, uh, two young, I think, well, the guy apparently had 13 victims that he abused. And what there's basically saying that how right they was trying to get justice for him. So two or three of the young boys who is now big men that has come they come out and spoke to the police. So Grimes literally was quite happy in the prison where he was, and he didn't want to move and all that stuff. But the boys was describing quite um deep, also quite well, no, I'm gonna say insightful, disturbing kind of information on how what happened to them. So what happened is that how they had to no when they start to talk to the to Carson Grimes, his name is, he kept saying that how, oh, he don't remember, he don't remember, he don't remember. Most of the victims that came through, like I said, are grown men, and they remembered like at 13, he would give them like drink, alcohol, all sorts of things. And they literally one literally broke down on the phone while talking to one of the investigators because they was trying to give him more charges as he was already in prison already. Now, Carson did try to literally try to play his game on the other side because he didn't want to move from the jail where he was. Because with people who do charges like this, sometimes right, a lot of things happen to them when they're in jail. So he didn't want to be moved. He tried to control the whole thing. Anyways, later on, they they spoke to a guy who worked with him who was on the buses, and the guy said that how yes, like at one point he was quite a friendly guy. They didn't see nothing wrong that he was doing because they didn't know what he was doing. And in those times, I don't know whether it was the 80s, wherever it happened, they didn't assume nothing. Then the investigators went down to the garden of where he was living. While they was there, they thought that they saw an undisturbed grave. So when I saw that, the first person came into my head was um the clown guy, Wayne Wayne Gacy. Wayne Gacy, I think his name is. He's the first person that came into my head. But then later on, as the program started proceeding, um, right, the guy started explaining certain things, where he said that how I think he was even in an orphanage or something, and he ran away. And obviously, he kept running to the guy. The guy who used to give him what it seems to be drugs on other stuff, and he just used to like go into deep sleep or something, and then when he wakes up, you find out how he's aching. He's got bruises all over his body, etc. So one of the victims did actually go to the police, and the police kind of fogged him off, and he didn't get no justice for what the guy did. So he said that in his own words, they kind of just told him to shut up, basically. So basically, he kind of left it. The only time that he was able to speak was when the investigator came to him again, and he said that how he had a distaste for police because of what happened to him. So the the victims that was talking kept repeating certain things, and it seems like the guy used to do things a certain way as well. So he would sort of like knock them out or whatever, give them things that they like or whatever, and then he would kind of take advantage of them. And this was happening for numbers of years. I can't remember how many years, but it was happening for numbers of years. But then the victims decided to actually take action, so that how he can be put away for life. I can't remember how long he was put away for. I should look it up while I'm here, but because I can't share the screen, it's more harder. But he was definitely known in the Hackney parts. I think it's Hackney. I think they said Hackney or some part of London. So um, it's like the live what I did of the. I'm trying to think now of the MP who used to go visit the boys in these orphanages. It's kind of like that, but in this case, the boys would run away, and then the guy would take them in, and then he would. So um, it's very vulnerable stuff going on. But what I was happy to see in this live, no, not live, wasn't live, in the video was the justice that they got, because one of the men literally, he's actually got a family, and he was kind of like very distressed. Actually, two of them was distressed, and the way how they always describe him, he said that how he had a jerry curl and a stubble, and he said that how the stubble used to touch him and he used to feel like a certain way and stuff. Now, when you're looking at the guy himself, he looks like the average Jamaican old man on street, because he's older, obviously. He ain't got a lot of hair. Um, he's very much a little bit cocky in parts. You're just like, wow, like the man had that much control over his victims. They call him the Jimmy Savile, Savile, the Jimmy Savile of that parts, right? So it's an interesting story. I might have to do a video on it to put in more detail, because it's not that old, it's not that new, but at the same time it is sad, because the victims take long to get the the justice that they need, and some of them are not brave enough to come out and talk about it and all sorts of things. So it's sad. Hi, TJ. It's sad that how it takes long for these type of victims to get justice. And I know there's others. I know we was hearing about Epstein and stuff like that, but I'm just looking at the ones where they are in the spaces and stuff, like, because even now I think there's loads of stuff that's going on with children anyway. But when you highlight certain things, people don't want to talk about them things, you know what I mean? They want to put it away, like, unless the child is unalived, found in disposed in a horrible way. That's when people tend to listen, or I mean, on the YouTube there's many stories of children going through a lot of stuff, like as well. But I just thought I'd just use Carson Grimm's, because when I watched that yesterday, I think it was yesterday, day before yesterday, I said, um, I'm glad that the victims got the justice that they needed, because many people who went through abuse in the 80s, the late 80s, the 80s, the 90s, before that time, some of them never get justice. Some of them even go as far as writing as books and stuff. Now, there is a guy that I got on the dark waters of Osunyemi, and he wrote a book about his abuses, and he actually became an activist, a voice for those who was hurt in from orphanages by this MP. And it just shows you that how easy they can get easy access to certain parts and stuff like that, um as well. So that's why I was like, oh my gosh, like, but the guy was so nonchalant about it. He's like, he was just so casual about it. Even when he got sentenced, he was very casual to, like, it's only because the judge literally had to get tougher and move him from the jail where he was, so that the justice can be done for the victims, because I think it was over 14 victims in one area. I think it was, I can't remember. It was a lot of victims. It was a lot of victims. And he was very nonchalant about it, very casual. Um when they spoke to, I think, a person that he worked with, like I said, it was like, the guy couldn't believe it, that he was capable of it, but then he kind of like couldn't get to grips around it. He, like, but it was interesting to watch, and it's good that how some adults who has been through abuse do actually get the justice. And I feel that is one of the greatest things, because they are called hysterical abuses, and there are many of them. I think even somebody I know have come across a person who's been through hysterical abuses, and they talk about to being taken places and all this. So in my thinking, like, I was kind of like glad for the men, because they could have given him a lesser sentence. I think they gave him quite a long term sentence. I can't even remember, but I might have put a small video about him on here, or either the Dark Waters Ocean. Really, Dark Waters Ocean, Yemi is really dedicated to abuse and prison and all this stuff, because that is more the lower echelon of vibrations on that side. But on this side, I just thought I'd just bring it forward, because when I was trying to do my live just now, my laptop computer, was sounding like it was gonna go kaput or blow up or something. So as I'm on the phone now, I thought I'd just explain it, even though it's not the best way. I don't think I explained it in the best manner, the best way, because I'm getting old now. I mean, I'm an old girl. I'm old. I'm feeling my age now. Um, I don't think I explained it in the best manner, but I can explain it the best way I know how, because, like I said, many people blank out these pains. They don't talk about it. They put it in the back of their mind. Um, they they don't face it. So I was glad that those three men, because three men who actually was able to face him. I think, no, two of them was able to face him. The other one, he wasn't able to face him in court, but he was just glad that how he got his justice. And so I'm thinking, I'm appealing to anybody who actually has been through that, because I know, like, on these apps, people will talk about a lot of stuff, but then it doesn't really get solved. It doesn't get sorted sometimes. There's one guy, he said he had an affair with his auntie's husband, but I believe he was abused. But the way how the guy described it, the way how he described it, he said because he was always a certain way when he was younger. And I feel that the guy took advantage of him. But the way how the man later on, he said, oh yeah, he was doing this and this and this, and he was taking care of me. The guy was actually going through abuse, going through abuse. One of the cousins almost caught him as well. So when they're telling certain stories, you sometimes have to listen and then think to yourself, oh, was it? Especially if they say certain ages. Like, but I hope that some victims do actually get help in the long run, because it does actually bridge into everything. It bridges into relationships, it bridges into a lot of stuff. It either send them as far as getting them to the streets, to drugs, and all sorts of stuff. The ones who actually is able to face the perpetrators of that, right? I have to give you a clap, a clap, like give you a pat on the back, however you want to take it, because you face the one who's actually tried to take away your power. So that's why I'm talking about Carson Grimes, a little bit of Carson Grimes. It was quite despicable what he did as well. And I feel that how, in the long run, I know that they don't always put in laws that can help the victims, but they need to. I mean, they put in certain laws, but they don't put in all the laws that can help the people so they can get the people sent down for what they did, right? And in this case, he got sent down. So I might put up a small video. I'm gonna do it on the dark waters Ocean, because sometime on here people are, and everything has its place in it. So with that said, I'm gonna leave it like that. I ain't even gonna go nowhere far because I can't share the screen. I can't do nothing really right now. So with that said, I will see you in the next one. But there is something I might have to put in video format because I like the culture of it. So um yeah, leave a comment underneath. Tell me. I know some people don't know who this person is that I'm talking about. Carson Grimes. Hopefully he'll come up in the algorithm. But Carson Grimes. But with that said, I will leave it right there. I probably might put up his picture on my thumbnail. But I'll leave it right there, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll find another way to present. Well, here my stomach. I find another way to present my stuff. I don't know how. I'll figure it out anyway. I'll figure it out. But with that said, I will see you. Take care. Bye. Thank you for coming, TJ.